My name is Oriola Jr. I'm the Associate Director for the Investing Now program, a pre-college STEM program located at the University of Pittsburgh. I'm a doctoral student in the School of Education. I had a couple more years to go. And I've gotten the chance to kind of continue academics. I was a high school dropout, so at the end of 8th grade, so I went to 3 different high schools, had to drop out of college and go back after my father died. So it's just a blessing to kind of continue in education and really further my learning. So my mother's a missionary. We moved around a lot, so I maybe lived in like 15, 20 different places. So that was just a sifting process for me. Didn't really like school because I was never really engaged for the long period. Had friends, but not too close to the point where I was able to get to know people well. And after 8th grade, I had to get out of school for 2.5 years in DC. If you don't have an address in your name, you can't go to school. So after 2-3 years, I got back into school, went to 4 different high schools, and God really reoriented and guided my steps. And I just emphasize God because nobody else was really there to do that, and He just guided my steps, touched my head, and kind of pushed me further to really study harder. So I ended up graduating at the top of my class. I was one of the students at the top of my class at the 3rd or 4th, the last high school I went to in Maryland. I was at Einstein, and I was applying to colleges, but my Pitt was his alma mater. So we were always close, Mr. Fernandez, and he said you should apply to Pitt, and I applied to Georgetown, W&J, other universities, got in, but for some reason I went to Pitt due to Mr. Fernandez's advice, and God just guided my steps, and came to Pitt, and I've been here for the past 10, 11 years, did undergrad and grad and continuing now. So that's kind of how I got to this point in terms of doing education and community and ministry stuff, and working with youth on striving to. So I'm an author, working on book number 2, working on a film this year, and starting another nonprofit this year as well. So my first book, Thorns and Thistles, it's a manuscript/poetry book. It's on Amazon if y'all want to get it. And then the second book I should finish this year. It's more of a manuscript, a little bit thicker, but the film we're doing, it's a visual film of my first book, so it should be out sometime in November. It's a feature film. Yeah, the accomplishments. I'm a child of God. I'm a brother. I'm a son. I'm a friend. Taking care of my family back in Nigeria. That's an accomplishment to me. I'm a minister as well, so I get to preach the gospel and really love on people and share the good news of Jesus. And awards-wise, I've been blessed to, be recognized with a few stuff. With the Pittsburgh Magazine, and
I saw 40 under 40.
Yeah, 40 under 40, and a couple different things. So those accomplishments are cool. So, and Investing Now had their own day last year, I think it was May 12th, May 11th, but it was a citywide day Investing Now that we had. So I try to be myself. A lot of people, I don't want to say they think too much. But when you try to impress people, you begin to stumble on your own words. So it's really letting things flow from my spirit out of my head. So I'm not bifurcating the two. I use my head, but I use my heart as well. Pacing myself and really trying to connect with the audience and making sure my message isn't lost in my delivery, but also my delivery doesn't swallow up my message as well. So, and I think a great speaker is someone who knows the audience well and isn't trying to be a great speaker. So it's kind of a catch-22. So
yeah. So like self-confidence
and authenticity and being genuine and being flexible. So probably my favorite quote: "People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care." So I don't want to just start dispelling knowledge to people and they're like, you don't actually care about me. Because I experienced that with a lot of teachers too, and I think education has to be reciprocal, so it's not just the student learning from me. I have things I need to learn from them. And I think relationships are key building blocks for anything that's growing. So whether it's knowledge, whether it's purpose or identity, or STEM or college, whatever it is, I think I said that before. I said knowledge. So, but so yeah, relationships are key. Yeah, people are my passion. So I think within that, education is a factor in that, because learning, you never stop learning. Take my own advice. So I got a wall of quotes. Actually, it is. So Michael knows I make students memorize it and say it to themselves and stuff, but I say it to myself just to keep myself going. How I better myself. Education, that's one. I try to make sure I'm eating well and staying healthy and going to the gym and having fun, and really just spending time with people I care about. So I think bettering yourself is seeing where challenges are and trying to overcome them. So when it comes to academics, when it comes to nonprofit, getting out, stepping out on faith and creating that and doing the book, and the second book and film and stuff like that, I think those are ways really trying to better myself, so I can create something that's lasting. Nonprofit, that's going to be, it's going to be ministry based, really reaching out to different communities, creating scholarships, sharing the love of God with people. We're doing a lot of education based, arts based, ministry based, community based activities and projects. So it's really creating content, influential content, and using creative mediums to really impact people, reorient culture, and yeah, just share the love of God with people.
Let's do that.
So for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I do a monthly community forum at the Union Project. So we talk about equity, race, community engagement, different issues, but community, reconciliation. And for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, they always have a yearly celebration. So I brought the students there to volunteer, to serve food, to clean up, to help, basically help with the event, but also to participate in the community forum, to voice their opinions. Because a lot of times they talk about kids and kids aren't there. So yeah, so that was I try to live what I preach and preach what I live. So it's really walking in integrity. I don't like to say what I do and